What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are here today, you guys, with a brand new review, a brand new season of Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, you guys. Season 4, episode number 1, you guys. I'm so excited to see the crew back. You guys know how I feel about my girl Rock. You guys know I love Rock. That is my boo. I go up for her. But yeah, you guys, this episode is titled Gangstas Don't Die. Now, before we go ahead and get into it, you guys, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you guys aren't subscribed yet, then I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and then having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You guys can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and also by turning on your post notifications, you guys. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let us go ahead and get into Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, shall we? All right, you guys. So, you guys know how I do when it comes to the Power universe. I group people together, and then I talk about them. And so, this is gonna be the same. Now, what I will say is, with this episode, it really was like a lot of flashbacks to the finale of last season. So that's pretty much what we're gonna see throughout this episode. We're gonna see flashbacks because it went back I think we'll get to it, but I think it's like 3 months or something that but neither here nor there, you guys. So we start up with our girl Rock and the family. So the episode opens up for them. We're at Tony's bar. That lady's name is not Tony. Tony is the woman that the white girl that Marvin was messing with at one point. What is this lady's name? Y'all remember the woman that Lou has this bar with? What was her name? I don't remember the lady's name. But whatever that lady's name is, you guys, we are there at the bar, and this is where Fame was performing, right? So we see Fame's performance, and we remember Kanan was talking to Aisha at the bar and all that kind of stuff, right? So we also saw Rock at the police station, and we saw Marvin got a phone call about meeting up. And so at the station, which they didn't show this part, because you guys remember, at the end of last season, Rock took out the creepy Black Michael Myers and Detective Howard. But we see as Rock and Detective Howard, they locked eyes at the police station, right? So we see the next day, we see Rock, and Rock is having morning sickness. And I was like, girl, I know you lying. You pregnant about Unique? So the phone call that Marvin got, it was from Stefano. You guys remember Stefano was Tony Danza's character, the one that Rock and Neek were working with last season, right? So he told Marvin, like, he has a job for him. He wants Marvin to knock some sense into his new son-in-law. And Stefano wants this to stay between he and Marvin. He doesn't want Rock to be any the wiser about what Marvin is doing for him, right? I was like, now Marvin, you know how Rock is, and you know the minute, because you do know that Rock is eventually gonna find out. And when Rock find out, Rock is gonna be pissed. But okay. So we see as Kanan is at school, right? And so he's talking to, I guess, like the principal. And so she's telling Kanan, like, yo, your grades are slipping, and you remember, you are in the system with CPS. And with that system, you have to do good in school, because if not, you're going to be in violation of the terms that are set forth by your social worker, right? So Kanan is having to write a paper about his grandparents, but Kanan, however, doesn't want to write the paper. And I was like, why not? I get it, your grandmother is a piece of work, right? But from what we've heard about his grandfather, the thing is, everybody has their different not interpretations, but everybody has their different feelings about the grandfather, right? The mama feels one way about him. Rock feels one way about him. Marvin feels one way about him. And Lou also feels one way about him, right? But Lou is the baby, so Lou, his his memory of his dad is not what Rock's and Marvin's are, right? So we also find out that Rock is in fact pregnant by Unique. And so Kanan, we also see as he went to go see that creepy ass daddy of his, Detective Howard, right? So Kanan is asking Howard about his parents, and Howard was like, wait a minute, why you asking me about my parents? Yeah, you my son, but if you write a paper about my parents, that means people can then possibly put two and two together and realize, oh shit, he ain't DEFCON's son, he's a cop's son. And then you guys remember, Rock was Howard's CI, which that is so weird. She was your CI, and she was underage, and you slept with her. Detective creepy. But whatever, neither here nor there, right? But Howard does want for him and Kanan to, kind of foster some kind of a relationship with each other and connect with each other. I was like, go to hell, sir. Now we see as Jukebox is having dinner with Aisha's family, right? So Aisha's family tells her, we love the name Jukebox, like where did it come from? So she told her, my family called me Jukebox because I always sing, right? And so Aisha's dad asked her, what does her parents do? She was like, well, my mom is deceased and my dad, he does a whole lot of different shit. And I was like, you goddamn right about that. He do a lot of different shit, right? But neither here nor there, right? So then Aisha's mom asked Jukebox what her plans are when it comes to college. And Aisha's like, mama, like, stop. But her mama did say that, Aisha raves about Jukebox. Here's the thing. I think I've been saying this since season 1. I wonder when are we gonna see the Jukebox that we know from the original Power? Like, because right now she's still an innocent young girl, but the person we saw on Power was a ruthless, dirty cop. But neither here nor there. So we see as Marvin found Stefano's son-in-law, right? So he comes out of, I think, like a club or something. He gets into his car and there's a woman with him, right? So he gets in the front, well, it's a convertible that they're in. So they're both in the front seat. And so he grabs the woman by the head and guides her to his lap. I said, me and Marvin both said the same thing, like, damn, you bold. In the front seat, right? So we also see as Rock went to a clinic to get an abortion. I was like, oh, okay. I knew she wasn't going to carry Unique's baby, but I was kind of like, okay, cool. So we also see Kanan. So he went to go see his money-hungry ass grandmother, and he told her, he wants to write a paper about his grandfather. And so she told Kanan, like, my memory of your grandfather is going to be completely different from what your mama tell you, your Uncle Marvin tell you, and your Uncle Lou tell you, right? And I was like, you're right about that. So we also see Marvin. So Marvin has followed Stefano's son-in-law to a neighborhood, right? Child, it's the out loud racism. Because you guys remember last season, the Italians did it. They called them everything in the book that was racist. And so they were like, you get lost there, boy? I said, oh, not boy. Not boy, but Marvin couldn't do nothing to him because it would be in three against one. So Marvin had to pretend like he did get lost, right? So after Marvin got in the car, one of them called him a coon, and then they said they don't see no monkeys hanging from trees. I said, oh my God, the racism. Now we move back to Rock. So Rock is at the hospital or clinic trying to get the abortion, right? So a nurse comes in to tell Rock, like, hey, so this is what to expect when you have an abortion. And Rock was like, girl, I know what to expect. Like, this ain't the first rodeo. I had one as a teenager. And so she was like, okay, cool. But they're also telling her about, the process after it's done. So we see as Rock has had the abortion, and we see as Jukebox is driving her home. And so Jukebox was like, wow, she was like, actually, Rock was like, you ain't got no questions for me. She was like, not really. But then she, she's like, if you do, I mean, go ahead, ask me whatever, right? So Juke asked her like, did you love him? And she was like, she thinks she could have, right? And she also told Juke like, so that just happened back there, it needs to stay between me and you. And she was like, I got you, Aunt Rock. Now, Marvin. Kanan went to go see Marvin to talk about his grandfather, right? And so Marvin is giving him what he thinks about his father, right? And he's talking about how his dad gave up and checked out, and how when his dad stepped out, then he had to step up and be the man of the house and be there to raise Rock and Lulu, right? So Kanan says, so you don't have any good memories of him? He was like, no, I love that nigga. But him leaving, it hurt so bad. And, that is, so that's why it hurts him so bad. He said, his daddy would take him to, when he would box, right? He would see his daddy lay niggas out, and he realized that was a superpower for him, right? But at the end of the day, he's still pissed off at his dad, and rightfully so. I mean, to up and abandon your family, and then your oldest son has to step up and take care of your responsibilities. Yeah, I'd be pissed off too. I still love the nigga, but I would be hella pissed off, and it would be forever, right? So then we see as Kanan is talking to Lou. Now you guys remember, at this point last season, Lou was at the bottom of a bottle, and that is exactly what happened. Lou was drunk off of his ass, right? So Lou was like, but you didn't talk to Rock? He was like, no. He's like, but ain't you staying with her? He said, just because I'm staying with her don't mean that I'm talking to her, right? And so Lou told him like he's still learning things about his dad, and that he said his dad was a creative. His dad was someone who was good at playing the horns, right? And so Lou said even he used to be, he said he used to be upset with his dad for leaving, but now as he's gotten older, he understands better. And I was like, what do you understand about your daddy having 3 kids, leaving his wife and his 3 young children to fend for themselves? I don't know how you can understand that. Like, I don't think I could ever understand that, but hey, it is what it is. So then we see Marvin. So Marvin has followed Stefano's son-in-law to like a skating. I think he was at an ice skate. Well, it was a locker room that they were in, but he had ice skates on, right? So Marvin just popped that nigga in the face when everybody left, and then he put the skates up to his neck and basically threatened that man, right, and scared the shit out of him. Cause he's like, he told him that, yeah, he just scared the shit out of that man, basically. Now we move over to Rock. So Rock went to go check on Kanan, and Rock is talking to Kanan, and she told Kanan like, you may hate me, and that's fine, but I love you nonetheless, right? And she's like, you didn't ask me about, my dad. You like, cause you knew that I was his favorite. And Kanan was like, I don't want to talk to you. I was like, Kanan, sir, stop. Just go somewhere, Kanan. Go somewhere. But he told Rock he got everything that he needed from everybody else, right? Now, we also see Juke, and she's talking to Nicole's dad. She's thanking Nicole's dad for telling him about the audition. She lets him know that she's in the group. The name of the group is Butter. And, he told her how proud he is and how proud Nicole would be of Jukebox, right? So then she asked him about the military, and he's telling her, what he's learned in the military, but he's also, in a roundabout way, he is looking out for Juke, but he told Juke, like, the military is ultra conservative. And I know what he's saying to her, you being a lesbian, they're not going to really, especially, because I think at this point, we're in 1991, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I believe this season takes place in 1991. So, but he told her that the military was, very conservative. So then we see as Lou was at the bar, and y'all have to correct me if I'm wrong. Fame's sister's name is Jessica, right? Jessica came down to the bar. She saw, because she's in town, and she just said she wanted to see Lou. And he said, well, you saw me, so you can go. And she's like, I tell the people that I work with about you. I'm like, girl, what are you up to? And then she also brought up Crown Camacho, and he was like, Crown had a lot of enemies. and you were one of them enemies, Lou. But it is what it is. It is what it is. So she said, she's gonna be there for a while, and then she said she'll be coming back and she'll check on him. He said, it's fine if you don't. I was like, well, damn, Lou, damn. So after that, we see as Kanan is with, you guys remember last season that he took those couriers and he used those couriers to, you know, sell his drugs, right? So one of the couriers is coming to Kanan asking Kanan for more money because you got us working more hours, but we ain't getting enough money for what we do, right? Because the boy was like, old boy that had us, but Paul paid us well enough for the 9 to 5 that we working, but you got us on the clock for 24/7. So you gonna have to run us a little bit more extra cash. And Kanan said, oh God, the way that the boy talks, you guys, I forgot how annoyed oh God, the way that he talks through his teeth, it annoys the fuck out of me. That is the only thing about this show. I love Raising Kanan, but that is the one thing that annoys the hell out of me is that Makai talks through his teeth. Like he clenches his jaw like 50 Cent. Oh God, he clenches his jaw, and it just irks my soul. Crystal still got her raggedy ass around, and so she's telling Kanan like he can only control what goes out. And he was like, "What do you know about it?" She's like, "Her daddy ran a business, and so her daddy gave us some tips." I don't give a damn about Crystal. So we see Stefano. So Stefano is telling Marvin like, "Whatever the fuck you did, it scared the shit out of my son-in-law because him and my daughter, they on a cruise with each other. So kudos to you." Now we see Kanan. So Kanan went to the hospital, and his grandmother he got a call when he was with Crystal about the grandmother. So the grandmother is in the hospital. Turns out she has kidney cancer, right? And she's also fainted. So she asked Kanan not to tell, anybody else in the family, and Kanan agrees to do that, right? And then lastly, with Rock, we see her as she's talking to that therapist lady. That lady looks shook because Rock told her, "Girl, I'm fine. I don't give a damn. We good. Peace out." I was like, oh. I know that one was like, wow, what a cold lady. Yes, she is. All right, you guys, so let's pause here and move on and wrap up the episode. All right, you guys, so the episode actually opened up with the last scene of last season with Howard and the Black Michael Myers. You guys remember, they are deceased, right? So Unique came, and then he came there, and then we went 3 months earlier, so I was correct. So this is where, remember, last season, the Black Michael Myers and Unique got into the fight, right? The Black Michael Myers thought he unalived Unique, he burned Unique and all that kind of stuff. But we all know now, Unique is alive. So Unique was able to get to a payphone and call up this guy named Early, who was portrayed by Chris Redd, who was formerly on SNL, right? So Early came and picked up Unique, right? Took Unique to a vet. I was like, you know what? I was thinking like, damn, a vet? But I get it. Y'all are part of a lifestyle. You can't really take him to the hospital, right? So at the vet, Unique survived, but he has a brain injury, and the doctor is warning Early like, you should get him to a medical doctor because with that type of brain injury, it's liable to change this man for the worse, right? And Early was like, I don't give a fuck about that. I was like, you should give a fuck about that because, again, he's telling you traumatic brain injury. Anytime I hear that, I'm just like, you know what? Because that could alter a person's personality for the best or for the worst. In this particular situation, I think it may alter Unique's personality for the worst. But okay. All Early cares about is getting his money from Unique. So once again, this doc keep warning Early like he's urging him like get this brother man to a hospital because that brain injury. We had a dog here last week that he bit. I guess the dog bit a nurse. The nurse had to get stitches, and they ended up having to put the dog down. Early, take this man to a doctor. But Early only cares about Early's money. So we see as Neek is at Early's crib, right? And Neek got out of the bed and asked Early for keys to one of his rides. I was with Early. I was like, nigga, you have a brain injury. You were burned. Whoever tried to take you out probably thinks you long gone swim with the fishes. Let them think that, because that's what Early told. Because Unique wants to get out there and get back at the Black Michael Myers, right? But Early is telling him like, no, think things through. These people think you're dead, so you have the advantage over them right now. And he's like, obviously your brother is working with somebody. Neek, however, is starting to think that it's Rock. I'm like, no, it is not Rock. It is Pop and Snaps. Or is it Pops and Snap? Was it Pops and Snap or Pop and Snaps? One of them had an S on their name. Is it Pops that has an S on her name? Pops and Snap? Or Snaps and Pops? Y'all correct me. I think it's Pop and Snaps. Or no, it's Pops and Snap. Right? Either way it go, we'll get it right because they're in this season. We're gonna see them at some point this season. I don't know when, but they are definitely still in this season, right? So when Neek was asking for the keys, the nigga passed out. So Neek told Early later in the episode he needed a couple of days and he can circle back on his brother and settle the score. I was like, no, you cannot. No, you cannot. So this is where Early was telling him he feels like, he's working with somebody. So Neek told Early, like, keep your ears to the street and see what the people are saying, right? So Early came back and told him, like, Rock is taking over all his work. So Neek is thinking, like, the bitch, she did this to Def Con, she did this to, I forget the other dude's name, but he's feeling like she's fucked with him to take over his territory. But that's not what happened. That's not what happened. So then Early told him that Kanan is working with Ronnie, and he feels like, okay, so Kanan must have told Ronnie to take me out on Rock's orders. That's not the case. That's really not the case. And again, here's the thing. I do remember the Black Michael Myers working with Pops and Snap, or Snaps and Pop. He was working with them, but Ronnie did that on his own. Even with Juliana, those were all his things that he wanted to do. Nobody put him up to that. The nigga, your brother was just crazy than a motherfucker, and creepy too, and scary as well. Like, your brother was just a weird ass motherfucker. But neither here nor there, right? So Early is telling Unique that he feels like he's jumping to conclusions. He absolutely is. So then we see as Neek saw Ronnie with Juliana. Oh, that ain't helping the case. Because we also know that Rock and Juliana were working together. But I mean, we knew that they fell out. They fell out before she even took her out last season. But Neek don't know that. Damn. Oh, God. So then we also see as he found Lou, had a pow pointed at Lou, but old girl, I forget again, I can't remember that white woman's name. If y'all remember it, leave it in the comment section. She stopped him, right? And so she stopped him from getting behind the wheel of the car. And that was really the episode. Like I said, it was a lot of flashbacks because the final scene that we see was the final scene of last season when they were at the warehouse. The Black Michael Myers is deceased, and so was Detective Howard. Honestly, you guys, I mean, although I was here for the episode, it was a lot of in the past. But overall, I was okay with it. Let me know what you guys thought about the episode down in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on your post notifications, guys. Share the video. And until the next time, stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands. Be blessed. And I'll see you guys in the next video.